So this patient did not have a gauge earring deformity, but had a sort of hanging earlobe from aging. And during a facelift procedure, she wanted to have her earlobes repaired and injected with fat. The reason I shot this series of photos and this narration is that I perform gauge earring reconstructions, and I always forget to photograph or film it or explain it. And the gauge earring, which is the earring that young people wear with the large ring after it's taken out, causes a similar deformity where the ear collapses downward and there's an elongated hole there. So essentially what I did for her here is very similar to a gauge earring, and I wanted to explain how to do it if you have a gauge earring that needs repair or if you have a saggy earlobe. So in the first image, you see that I've already cut through and removed the hole. And then the second image, what you're seeing is that I've seen the degree of overlap, and I'm just going to trim out the excess there so that I can shorten the earlobe and overlap it. The following photograph you're seeing here is the overlap actually occurring, so you can see them pretty well positioned, and I haven't really trimmed some of the little excesses to make it perfectly aligned. And then you can see by doing a little bit of trimming, it's pretty well approximated in the following photograph, and in that I've done the deep layer closure, so the buried sutures that are dissolvable that will keep it from stretching back. And then the next image you see here is I've put in a dissolvable suture that is placed in the skin, and that really just makes sure that all the little edges are well aligned and perfectly shaped. And for the aging earlobe, this is microfat. Microfat is essentially fat that I have ultra processed so that it is not lumpy, but is very smooth. And I'm injecting this to create a rounder earlobe, as you see in the last image where I have a cannula inserted through there showing me injecting the fat. It's a 1.2 millimeter cannula, so that I can get a fuller, more natural and softer and rounder earlobe for this person. Now, for a gauge earring, I usually don't have to inject the fat. So this is just showing you sort of the multi-step procedures for a gauge earring or for a saggy earlobe.